John, what's your reaction to the draft this year and how it turned out for your guys?
It was really good in some ways, and then still trying to figure out how Keldon. I said he was a top 10 pick when he left here, and then a month and a half later he was picked 29th. But knowing the draft the way I do, I haven't spent time really going into that, knowing that if there are teams you didn't work out for, and you slip a little bit, and then all of a sudden you slip by those teams, and then all of a sudden it's like, what's wrong with this kid? Because there's nothing wrong with him. And what proved it was San Antonio took him. San Antonio is about a culture. It's about having good kids that will compete and fight and be coached. And by them taking him, it confirms who he is. But 29, I had no idea what went on. And I was on the phone the whole time. With Reed, I thought 59 and 60, I thought he had that chance to go in the second round, those two specifically, but even before that, talked to him yesterday. He's going to now figure out what's next. I think he's been invited to a couple summer league teams. And, you know, every kid is on a different path. And whether it was Isaiah Briscoe that went to the Ukraine, whether it's Derek Willis played in Germany, having a heck of a year, so he's now putting himself in a position that way. They're all on different paths.
Cal, when you talk to Keldon after this all goes down, you've had a lot of guys go high in the draft, but they have to wait a few years before the team they go to is competitive. Do you sort of sell to him that, hey, you get to go to a winner in this situation?
I didn't sell anything. The only thing I talked to him when I saw what was happening and knew he didn't work out for some teams and knew where this could go. I thought he had two backstops in two different teams, and it ends up being one of them traded, and there was so much fluidity to this draft. I'd never experienced anything like it. But I went over to he and his family and I said, listen to me. I've done this a long time. You are in the NBA. You're going to be with the team. This stuff, most of it is ego, and it's more about being on the right team. So just relax, understand this stuff happens. And he ends up going to San Antonio, which is the best team. Talking Hall of Fame coach, an organization that does unbelievable work developing young players. And then those guys become, you know, they took a kid from Colorado no one heard about. They took a guy, Leonard, that no one really knew about. And so they don't miss very often.
Made a little playful jab at Duke yesterday and saying that he takes Kentucky guys for a reason. What are your thoughts on this?
Who said that?
Pat Riley. What are your thoughts on this?
He's a good man, that Pat Riley.
What are your thoughts on him kind of saying that there's a reason he's taking UK guys?
Well, let me just say, I watched them in person and told Coach Spoelstra, if you had 5 BAMs, you're in the finals. Pat Riley has said to me before, the best thing about your guys, they know how to fight, and the second thing is they're good teammates because they learn how to share here. And it doesn't mean we don't have volume shooters in the NBA. We do. We have 6 or 7 guys that are volume shooters. They just weren't here. They learned to be good teammates. Probably the best compliment that could be paid this program is what he said right there. Didn't really hear the comments, but I know they're really pleased with Bam. Bam called right away, give me his number, and then he texted Tyler and said, you better be ready to work. That's what this organization is about. And he showed me, Tyler sent it to me and said, this is what he sent me. And I said, he has no idea, does it? He said, he has no idea. Because that's what Tyler's about. And they knew that.
Having a player now on all 30 teams, how cool is that?
What was that?
Having a player on all 30 teams now from since you've been here, how special is that?
Is that right? I wouldn't know that. I just know a lot of players get drafted. So, it's I said to somebody, how does anybody beat us on kids? I have no idea. What are they saying they're doing? I don't know, but we do get beat. We get beat more than we get kids. But I understand. I mean, we'd like to say it's not for everybody. This thing is about coming to practice, knowing their NBA scouts in that gym to practice because they want to see the competitiveness right there within our own team. It's a different deal where you go and I want to be the only guy, I want to shoot all the balls, I want to be the center of attention. It's just different.
Cal, how-
There's a lot of talent that's moved on to the next level. Any plans to replace that? How are you going to do that? Any additions to the roster?
No, we're good. I tell you, the best thing that came out of this draft was what happens with PJ. PJ would have been late first, maybe, probably a second rounder last year. He comes back. He was considered at 9, 10, and 11 and was taken at 12. What he says to every player here in this program, if you're not quite ready, it's okay to come back and get yourself right. Physically, mentally, emotionally, skill sets. He did all that. But he not only told our kids in this program, he told every college player, don't come out until you're ready. I came back and told EJ and I told Nick, I said, EJ, you understand what he just did for you. Now, I expect the same stuff out of you that we got from him. And I said the same thing to Nick. You came back for a reason, okay, take advantage. Every kid's on their own path, but I was happy for him. And again, he's in a situation they really need someone like him.
John, how do you explain that PJ comes back and makes a dramatic improvement, especially three-point shooting? Reed, it did not happen that way.
It did happen that way. Reed is way better than he was, and he knows that. Reed is the best version of himself right now as a player. Better movement, playing above the rim where he didn't, blocking shots, dunking balls. No one ever saw any of that in him. His three-point shooting and all that stuff has improved. His free throw shooting, he's a better player. He did not get to work out for one team, not one. Any question marks, he couldn't, what I wanted him to do, and I told him right away, every team you worked out for a year ago, go back, work out for that same team. They'll see. Didn't get to do it because of his leg. But he improved himself immensely. There's, no question in his mind, my mind, or anybody else in the NBA that watched him.
PJ said he feels like he can have like a kind of a Draymond Green type impact in the NBA. You kind of see that. PJ said he can kind of have that Draymond Green type impact in the league. You kind of see those similarities?
I do. He can play multiple positions. He can guard multiple positions. He shoots the ball. Let's hope better. And Draymond's a pretty good shooter. Let's hope PJ can be even better than that. But the thing that Draymond did is he brought an energy level and a fight and a passion, and he could keep in front of people. Like you were not driving around him. So if PJ's trying to model after him, I think it would be outstanding.
John, what Jay Billis said during the draft, that he doesn't believe colleges produce NBA players.
He said it before. I think it's, I don't agree. What about Tyler Hero? What about Eric Bledsoe? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something that everybody must have missed on those kids. Just didn't evaluate them right, and we did. I think there's two things that's come out of this. How are our kids, 75% of them get to second and third contracts? We just evaluated that. And there are other schools that are evaluated just like us, and their kids don't seem to make it. And when they do make it, it's about 20% of the kids, 15%. So I don't agree with them. I think there's a culture that we have and a system that, a process that we have of developing them with an idea of what the end result is, trying to win. I just told the guys in there, during the season, it's about winning. It's about our team. When the season ends, it's about each individual player. But in the season, we're about this. How about teaching you how to defend? How many of our guys have gone in the NBA and not been able to defend, not known the terminology, not known all those kind of things? I like to say, I said it after, how many players in the NBA draft as rookies are going to go in as volume shooters? They went, yeah, none. They went to a school because they wanted to be the volume shooter. So now they're going to a team that you're not going to be the volume shooter. You got to know how to play. Well, our kids can do both. Not all of them, because not all of them are going to end up being volume shooters in the NBA. They're going to be one of those other guys. So I don't believe it, but he could say it. You know, the benefit of another school or this, or to say why go there when you can go anywhere, is what he's basically saying. Now, once you hear it, doesn't matter what school you go to, you're going to make it if you're supposed to. Do you believe that's true? Does anybody believe that's true? I don't say if you don't come to Kentucky. No, it's not what I said. But to say it doesn't matter, I don't know.
When you said you were making phone calls the whole night, who were you talking to, and what were you trying to do?
I was texting more than calling, even though I called a few. And it was just, my guy in the mix. You're thinking about this. When it was late in the first round, I was hitting people in the second round for Reed, saying, hey, this is what I think. Let me know. And so it's what I do every year. Same thing. I'll hit a guy and I say, you taking mine? And about 2 minutes on the clock, he'll say yes. We won't say it before, but boom, yes. And then I'll go over to show the kid. Looks like that's what you're doing. Stuff like that. But it's, I've been doing this a long time, and I know many people in the NBA know they're the people that work for them. So
sitting there with Calvin, that had to be stressful. I mean, it was stressful for a lot of us just watching it on TV. And what was going through your mind?
To where was this ending?
Yes, the reports, we heard that he was going to first go to Cleveland, and then that didn't pan out, so.
The people within there told me they don't know how that went out. Like, they were discussing stuff, but they don't know how that report went out. So he was in the mix. But to say, okay, that's who we're taking, and then it changed, I'm not sure if that's what happened. You'd have to ask Cleveland. There were other teams that moved back that we thought would take him in certain spots, and they moved back. There was a team in the top 10, I think, considered him. And when they passed, all of a sudden it was like, wait a minute. And then it's always what's the backstop? What's the stopping point? And the two that I thought both traded back. Because I was in touch, and all of a sudden you look and bang, they moved the other way. They gave up their pick. And then I think what happens is now when he starts sliding, they think, how late can we still get this kid? Like, again, you had a couple players from Tennessee going the second round. Those guys were pretty good. You had the kid again, it doesn't matter where they go, the kid at LSU, the guard, went in the 50s. The other big man didn't go. Doesn't matter where you go, you're going to do this. That's why I say, our kids in most cases are going where they're supposed to go, that are achieving at a level either where they were drafted or a lot of times beyond that. And it's because, one, they're good kids. They're willing to share. They understand they're responsible for themselves. Nothing is given to you. You take what you want. They come here and they do it. It is not for everybody. This is how we do it. Does it help? To someone to say it doesn't? I mean, I don't understand. Have you not done the numbers? I mean, I don't get it. But, it's like anything. Everybody can have opinions.
John, with your bigs, as they are constituted now, how prepared are you to go to battle with them, or would you like to add another
No,
guy?
we're good. I mean, we're good one way or another. If we add, fine. If we don't, I'm good. I mean, you have stuff that happens last minute, and, things that are going on. But, our kids, I look at the group that we have, and I'm really pleased with, and I think our guard play is going to be good too. But you're going to have, look, the whole idea defensively is, do you have shot blockers behind them? Do you have athletes that are guarding? And all of a sudden now, this team should be a great defensive team. I may be wrong, because it's really early. I've been wrong before. 1978. But I would guess that this team that people will talk about, man, are they good defensively. That's what we should do.
Cal, you mentioned
Wearing mom jeans and cargo. You're used to wearing mom jeans and cargo shorts. What did you think of the fashion statements of the players?
As I get younger, I'm not using it. I do the cargo shorts, I think. What are these?
Yeah, it's right there.
What are these? These cargos?
no pockets.
Get the pockets all on the side. Tommy Bahama.
What?
You wear Tommy Bahama.
Yeah. That's just cargo stuff. I don't know what cargos are. My jeans, used to wear those, but no, I laughed when I saw them, especially Tyler. I said, I looked at PJ, I thought PJ's was pretty cool. I thought Keldon's was nice. I didn't know he was taking the jacket off. And then I said to Tyler, a little bit much for me now. But, that's the new thing now in the draft. Everybody making a statement with what they're dressing, which is neat for the kids and the parents and their families. Everybody was dressed. It's a graduation. It's a celebration. It is a long time in coming. People say, why do you go? It's to be there, to help them celebrate, but also what happened with Kelton, to be in there fighting like crazy to make sure whatever's going to happen, how do we help if we can.